What is up, guys? It is time for episode 6 of Up to Speed. It's me, Cam and Theo, the Up to Speed trio. And
That was not a rap. That was not a rap.
That was good though.
It was good.
How long have you been
Okay.
sitting on that for?
you might get the full thing later, guys.
To be confirmed.
Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Need for Speed No Limits and what does it tell us about the future of the series, cops or no cops in the next underground style game, and finally, the crew, and also its embargo being lifted on release day.
Yeah.
Okay, sound. So we should get straight into Need for Speed No Limits then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who has got first thoughts? Because I'm not really sure what to think of this.
Okay. I'll go. Basically, it's a mobile game, obviously.
Yeah.
It has emphasis on customization, characters, which must mean it has some kind of stories, all this stuff. I know it's a mobile game. It's going to be free to play. It's probably going to be like Asphalt 8, but it's still more so customization, underground era based than recent games. So I think it's in a way hinting towards the future of the series in a few ways. It could be the fact that maybe it's going to be all underground. Maybe it's going to now change it up each year, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I'm excited to actually try a mobile game for once in my life. Just to see like what there is, because on the pictures you see like tuner cars with body kits and all this. I don't know. I haven't really ever thought I saw a mobile game and thought, oh, that's quite interesting. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I personally think it can be a sign for the series. I think it may show that we are going to get, the next game's going to have muscles, exotics, and tuners, all in one game again, like Carbon. But as for another Underground 3, I'm honestly not too sure. I think generally it's a good sign. It's a good sign that, we're going back to customization, we're going back to imports, and we're going to go back to, a variety of cars, not just exotics. I think that is essentially is a good sign. But how, as for how Need for Speed 2015 actually does pan out, I don't think it really does tell us much. I think that, no matter really what is in this mobile game, it will be loosely based around Need for Speed 2015, but the actual final game will be very, very, very different from the mobile game, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm to share elements in.
Yeah, I'm not talking about obviously gameplay wise. Obviously, the gameplay is just that's not.
Yeah, I should hope it's not like that.
But the actual kind of like ethics and the goals the games are trying to create, I think that'll change from the mobile game and the actual console game. But I'm looking forward to actually trying a mobile game again. I don't really play for mobile games, nor do I care for them, so I think I may give this a go actually after looking through some of the trailers and stuff. So. Yeah, Martin, what about you?
Interesting. All right, personally, I think it's a very good sign for Need for Speed 2015. I kind of brushed over this in I think it was the last episode or the one before that. I said that whatever happens in this mobile game has got to be a good sign for Need for Speed 2015. And yeah, Craptastic Jack actually covered this in a great video. And I'd actually love for Craptastic Jack to join us, but time zones.
Yeah, well,
Anyways,
we'll have to try at some point.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Need for Speed 2015, I think it's going to be good. And if we look at Need for Speed No Limits, like Craptastic said, he's spotted that there's a lot of tuners, and why would they do that and not put them into the next game,
Exactly,
the console game?
yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a good sign indeed.
He's going to be very happy he said that.
Oh, yeah, another thing is, Theo, you just said that you think it's going to be free to play.
Yeah, they said it was going to be free to play, I think. Which
Confirmed?
I think they said it in the post to do with the game. It's like the Fire Monkeys guy. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand why it's free to play. I don't think like games on mobile, people don't really pay for them. I think I got Shift 1 on mobile. No,
What about
it
San
might have been Shift
Andreas?
2. Yeah. But I mean, I don't see, especially because racing games are such a small market in itself anyway. The only mobile games that you see exceed in this is like those ones where you send it out for a race and you got to wait 20 minutes for it to finish the race and you get some credits. It's that kind of thing. And you see all the Asphalt games recently have become free and you've got to pay for microtransaction stuff. And I just see that as the market, like where it's going and stuff.
Yeah, I think generally it is a good sign. It's definitely a good sign. But again, we'll have to see. Like, knowing Ghost and EA, like they have a very bad reputation for Need for Speed with the one game they've made. There was loads of hinting at customization before the the release of Ghost and even the announcement of Rivals.
Yeah, one thing to note.
Customization.
Yeah. One thing to note though is that Ghost were never called it customization for some reason. They always called it personalization. That's probably to please the people who are like, oh, exotics shouldn't be customized, whatever. But now they're actually saying customization with this. They would have started development, as I said, around the exact same time, really. So I don't know. There's just a lot that makes you go, well, that may influence the next game, or that may be, influence.
I guess the reason why we're so kind of like half on this is because of how how they haven't listened to the fans in the previous games.
Exactly.
It's like the last three were really not influenced by us at all. That's why we're so kind of iffy if this is like a sign or not, because it may or may not be, because they haven't really been listening to us for the past 3 games.
Yeah, and Ghost. And remember when Ghost was saying we're not going to go quiet.
They've gone quiet.
Where have you been since that post? Like posting, which is your favorite Need for Speed? Retweet, favorite. Which car would you use?
Releasing a Rivals complete pack.
Yeah, like £70. 70. It's like, really?
Yeah, it is. I want it to be a sign, but at the same time, it may not be. I mean, it probably is, but we can't make our final decision until the actual game is announced, obviously.
One thing I just thought of... Oh, you can carry on, Ryan.
Yeah, from the little I saw in the trailer, the game actually looks very good. No matter what
it looks like it's going to be a fun little game to play on mobile. It's not going to be like... You're not going to actually have a kind of Underground 3 game on your phone, but it's going to be like... like the mobile games like Asphalt, and it's going to be have all the customization stuff there, maybe upgrades. So I think it'll be pretty cool to play. Like,
I've got a question.
Or whatever.
If EA just want to round up money, why did they not make an Underground 2 remake and put it on mobile?
I've said this.
Just
they
imagine
just make those 4 legendary games, or re-release it as in the HD version or something. That's Underground 1, 2, Most Wanted, and Carbon. Those 4. Wow.
Those games would easily run on mobile. If San Andreas can, like, how can those not?
If they remastered them games, put them on the next gen consoles with like obviously the original and kind of like how Halo does it and how some other remaster does it. Oh my god! Imagine, just imagine. Imagine having 4 games on one simple interface. You can flick between all of them. Oh my! I don't know what I would do with multiplayer. Next gen multiplayer.
That would be amazing.
That's never gonna happen. There's no point in me dreaming about this. It's never gonna happen. But that would be great. And I guess that leads us on to the next topic.
Well, actually, one thing.
Oh, okay.
I actually thought of something just a second ago. People have been sending me this Underground 3 leak, and I'm not sure if you read it.
I actually made a video on it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's apparently some guy that's been fired from Ghost that went to 4chan and posted loads of stuff about Need for Speed. It's supposed to be called Underground Need for Speed, which I guess makes sense, right? And they were saying how the handling is going to be like based on the Criterion one, but it's going to have the customization. They mentioned some car that's going to be in it. I don't know why. Mentioned one car. Oh, thanks.
No, didn't they say that was not going to be in it? Was it the Mustang?
They said, there were going to be no muscle cars except the Mustang Boss, which does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
If they went that route. And then they went on a whole bloody paragraph saying, the game's going to be 1080p 60 FPS on all systems. It's like, no developer would get fired and talk about the resolution of the game that nobody pretty much cares about except the people that like racing games. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to be 900p on PS4,
also,
720p on
in the
Xbox
actual
One.
leak itself, it said at the start he got fired, and then later on it said he quit.
He quit. And
so,
also, they say it's going to be revealed this year. Like, so if you don't believe me, it'll be at this year's VGX. VGX does no longer exist. it's the company that funded that was Spike. And Spike,
he branched off. He branched off.
And he's using his own money to make the video game awards. So, I don't know. It's annoying because even though I know it's probably 1,000,000% fake, I am still going to be sat there like,
Oh,
they
the
gonna
actual
say
leak itself is definitely fake. But
Yeah.
there's some things in there which I think, like, obviously,
Yeah.
he's having a complete guess, but they may be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
I
mean-
mean, I'll still be listening out. I highly doubt it. But I think that when they're going to announce it is going to be E3. That's usually when, or like a little
That's
teaser
what I
before
said.
E3.
That's what I said.
And, yeah, that's
I hope
just
so.
EA's way of doing it, really. But
Yeah.
they did say they were going to be more open about their games and such recently. So
That means nothing. The companies always say this stuff.
yeah, but look
oh,
at
we're going to be
Criterion's game. We saw that before it even had textures. Like, that game was just, I don't even know.
I'm not buying that game.
Oh, okay. Here's something at the end of it. He was saying how they got the NFS Nitro devs to work on the DS version, and they said they're going to make no Wii U version. They're going to make an iOS version and be ported to 3DS. So, yeah, that's not really...
No, it's
doesn't sound
definitely
right at
fake.
That doesn't sound right at all, does it? It's like, you just ruined it for yourself there, mate. Oh, but yeah,
He's probably spent 2 days planning this 4chan post, and then he comes up to the last thing and he's like, "No,
Yeah.
reading through this, and I said I quit, and then I got fired, and no."
yeah, he's responding to people and saying he quit, and then it's like, you just said you got fired and then you got quit. And it was
That
just
is like
such a
the
funny
biggest
thing.
oh shit moment is you're
Yeah.
writing a fake leak and then you just get the words wrong and really? Like, come on, if you're gonna write a fake leak, at least make it accurate, please.
Exactly.
But yeah, should we go on to the
Yeah,
police?
Yes, yeah, we move on to the next bit
Okay,
now.
so me, Theo, Martin all have different opinions on this. Whether police should be in the next Underground game. You know, I personally believe there shouldn't be. Theo believes there should be. Martin believes there should be.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, we all have different opinions on this, and we kind of want to get a bit of a discussion going on this. So, personally for me, I believe there shouldn't be any police in the next Underground game. The reasoning for this is because Underground 1 and Underground 2 didn't have police in. It doesn't matter whether they were planned to have police in. It doesn't matter, you know, whether their inspiration had police in from Fast and Furious. In the end of the day, the actual full game that we played on our PS2 did not have police in. And, you know, that's final. Obviously, Most Wanted and Carbon are extensions of the Underground series, but really they're kind of like in a whole new, not world in a sense, because obviously it's the same world, but it's kind of, you know, another branch, a more advanced branch. In a way, it's kind of like the next gen Underground 2, because obviously Most Wanted was on next gen at the time on 360. So for me, personally, I don't think I would want police in an Underground game. Just because I'm not used to it. You know, like every other Need for Speed Underground game I played, there wasn't in there. I don't know. Even if it was planned to be in there, like I've heard in the actual bin files, there was the heat sign in blue. However, it didn't actually get into the full release. I've heard that. That's actually a real thing. Like I've seen that in the bin files. But
Oh yeah,
they
I saw that, but I thought it could have just been the NOS icon.
it may well be, but it was the exact same thing from Most Wanted 2005.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, even if it was supposed to be in there originally, I personally don't think it's right. Just because, you know, the first two games launched didn't have it in, and it's as simple as that, you know. But what do you guys think? Like, what do you think about the police? Do you think there should be police?
So I think there should be, but as I said, that's mainly because I think Most Wanted, Carbon, even Undercover, not so much Undercover, but still, you know, those had cops. Those were kind of the new versions of the old Underground era games. But I understand what you mean. It's like, I don't know. I think the design of the games makes the difference, because on Underground 1, obviously it was like closed track. There's no open world. Underground 2, the cops. I like trying to picture the cops driving around on that map.
Wouldn't make sense, would it?
No, it doesn't make sense. But the world has been like made to work with the cops in Most Wanted and Carbon. So I don't know. The thing is, with Underground 3, rather than it literally being, you know, Underground 1, Underground 2, then Underground 3, I've kind of generalized that term as being the next Need for Speed with customization. So. Yeah. Like, rather than being literally a sequel to it, it's just in general, oh, it's the next Need for Speed if it's based on street racing with customization. You know, so it might not even be called Underground 3. It could be, as I said, this guy said, Underground Need for Speed. I don't know why.
But even if it is just Need for Speed Underground, like, it's still Underground. That's the only way of explaining. Like even if it is just Need for Speed, then
Another
space,
thing, though,
Underground. Like
even if not, I'm pretty damn sure they'll want to push the cops versus racer thing again. They'll want that in there somehow. It's just like one of those, like, because I remember an interview and he was saying how Marcus, he was saying how cops will probably, like, cops and racer probably be a big point of Need for Speed forever. As in customization or personalization at the time would be a big thing for it, and I don't know. I'd like there to be cops because, as I said, I think it just adds another thing to it. And obviously, if they're having the cops versus racer thing, you can be a cop if you really want to be. You annoying prick. But I don't know. What about you, Martin?
Okay, so personally, I think there absolutely have to be cops, and the main reason for that is to make sure that, you know, the guys who love the cops theme in the Need for Speed games are not left out. And on my channel, I don't need to spam, but I have this video. It's called How to Make Need for Speed Underground Free. Well-received video, 52 likes, and only 1 dislike.
That plug.
Probably. That 1 dislike is probably from you-know-who.
Yeah.
But, on bullet point number 19, it says, Night Rider, perhaps have a system where the police are more aggressive in the night because there is less traffic on the road. They also know street racing is more likely to happen at night. It's also easier to cool down / hide because it's dark and there are much more races to worry about. So I've created a system where the police are very aggressive, but it's also kind of easy to lose them. So that's kind of catering to what Cam wants and also what the other guys want. But if they don't have cops, I'm going to feel like this open world is just a playground.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The thing is with any of the open world Need for Speeds, like Hot Pursuit is a big example of it. When there's nothing there, and you can just fast travel to events. Like in Most Wanted, you could just activate the events through the pause menu. What's the point of the open world?
Well, I would assume there's like customization shops and everywhere.
Yeah, but you can pretty much
like car meets and stuff.
You could pretty much go to those like anyway. And if you were, you'd just be like driving on the map just to get to those customization points. And
the thing is, like, if it is like Carbon, basically, where you can just go from events from on the map, and you know, like Carbon for me personally, it wasn't a free roaming game. Like I hardly ever free roamed. I only free roamed. I mean.
But recently they've wanted to incorporate auto like jumps, this section as fast as you can. You know, little challenges, speed cameras, for example, in the old ones. Those things I think will add to the open world, give it more meaning and such. So I don't know.
I don't think I would mind policing. Like generally, police.
Yeah, they need to balance it right. Basically, they shouldn't be like they are in Rivals, where you cannot lose them unless you go into a garage and then drive around, and then they'll come after you again for doing nothing. Oh, you got a nice car, I'll just arrest you. But in Most Wanted, they like the new one, they wouldn't really come after you at all, really, unless you hit them pretty much. Like
if they balance it how the crew has.
Them. Yeah.
If they balance it how the crew has. I'll still be a bit disappointed it's in the game, but I would accept it. I think that's fine. But
okay,
if it's... Yes?
Go on.
Yeah, if it's...
I'll answer the question after.
Okay. If it's, like, ridiculous, like the police see me and they just chase after me, which they might do, or maybe, you know, I see a policeman, I'm literally doing donuts in front of him, and then go away, and he doesn't say anything for me, like, I don't know. As long as it's balanced well, I think... maybe I wouldn't mind so much, but personally for me, Underground has always been purely about racing, and if they put police in, it would kind of go against its roots, if you know what I mean.
I think it's just another thing to add to Autolog as well, like the cops thing.
I mean, personally, it would make more sense to call it Carbon 2, really, or something across those lines.
I would not like that.
I don't know, because it's Most Wanted, then Carbon, and then Pro Street. And it would be weird calling it Carbon 2.
Do you reckon if they made like the actual Need for Speed Underground, they would carry on with the story?
No.
I hope not.
Underground didn't really have much of a story to it. Underground 2, like it was
Underground
there.
1, Underground 2, Most Wanted, and Carbon all linked, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So do you reckon they would carry on the story, maybe like a prequel?
Well, not really. I guess Most Wanted and Carbon were linked, but after that it was kind of different characters and.
Underground 1, Underground 2, Most Wanted, Carbon all linked.
Kind of, yeah.
I think they'll carry on the kind of style of it, but I don't think they'll be like really obsessive as to get the right characters the same and that sort of thing. But yeah,
so you don't think we'll see this guy who eventually escapes to the East Coast at the end of the game?
They're probably all retired now or something. I don't know. Like
yeah, most of them have. Oh,
Yeah.
one of the guys I'm doing an interview with works for fucking Tesla, and then the other's doing Skyforge beta. So they're literally everywhere.
I want to know what happened to Cross.
Sergeant
Yeah,
Cross,
true.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
at the end of Carbon.
he was probably the best actor there. Like he really loved his part.
At the end of Most Wanted,
Absolute
when at the end of Most Wanted, he's like, "I want you to find everyone, everyone." I'm never gonna forget that line.
I'm imagining this guy pulled his key out of his pocket and scratched my
Yeah.
BMW.
You would come out and be like, "Yo, you pay for my bed, yeah?" Oh, you give him a piece of your mind. Oh, I don't know what I would do. God.
He was definitely the character with the most passion towards the project, I'd say.
Yeah, and you could tell that, like, you hated him when he was playing the game, and then at the end of Carbon, spoiler alert, when he
played Carbon,
when he lets you go, you're thinking, I fucking hated this prick, but
yeah, and then you're like,
damn, he's just a bounty hunter.
Yeah, he's just doing his job.
Yeah, and then he walks away, and you're thinking,
that's not just doing your job.
you're sitting there, you're just thinking, well done, performance.
This guy scratched your car and slammed the same door.
Yeah.
He needs a punch. He needs a punch.
Yeah.
Where,
I've just been thinking to myself as well. The cops idea, I think it would work. Like I don't know how that would work if we had, as Cam said, the cops in an open world underground based game, because they'll just eventually run up to you and smash into you anyway when you go into a garage or something. So there's a lot for them to think of. So hopefully this has longer than 6 months development time like Rivals, and they just go, that'll do.
well, half the time for development.
I just like expect coming out of the workshop to get smashed in by cop cars in like Bugatti Veyrons and stuff as soon as I come out. It's like, I don't know. Maybe you have to cause an offence or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. The question I got for Cam. This is for anyone else who feels like underground shouldn't have cops. 3 questions, and Cam, you're gonna answer, yeah?
Okay.
So, illegal street racing. Yes, is that what underground is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's breaking the law, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, in a sense.
And when you break a law, there needs to be enforcement, right?
Not in Underground 1, not in Underground 2.
I hope they do have some risk system in there. Like, you could get your car impounded before.
So that's like saying,
like, try be very much more careful with the cops. Like in the crew beta, I've just been like, I can't be bothered, pull over, just let them arrest me, and I pay my like $1,000 fine. But in that, if I got busted, I had the chance of pretty much losing my car.
Yeah, the thing is with the crew is like when you like the police chases don't really mean much. Like in Most Wanted, you kind of wanted to do that police chase. You wanted to get to heat level 5. I remember when you were heat level 1, you would kind of go around in circles for a bit, and then get heat level 2, then get heat level 3, then heat level 3 shit started. Like then you could actually go in a straight line and they would follow you. I think that's something that's missing from the crew and a lot of just every other game really.
Yeah.
But carry on, sorry Theo, I kind of bumped in.
That's fine. Yeah, I was pretty much done anyway. So.
Oh. Yeah. Anyway, mine. Back to what you were saying with the illegal street racing. Yeah, of course. Okay, fair enough. I see your point. But in that sense, in Most Wanted, if I'm taking down buildings to take down policemen, and I'm killing policemen technically when you're dropping buildings on them, doesn't that mean I'm a murderer and that they should probably start shooting me? Like, think about it in that sense. Like, it's a video game. Like, okay, there's supposed to be enforcement, but it's underground.
I could actually counter what you just said.
What do you mean?
Age rating.
Yeah, it's like a 12, is it?
Yeah, but like the same principle stands. Like just because you're doing illegal street racing doesn't really mean you need to have enforcement. Like for Horizon 2, there is a festival dedicated to illegal street racing. Like there's no way it's legal to go across a field.
Well, the open world of Horizon feels pretty bland to me. Like literally, the thing I do most on Horizon 2 is say I'm online, I'm at the airfield, and I'm like, oh, I've got to fast travel back through this loading screen to then fast travel back again. It's like you don't, once you've kind of explored the map once, you don't use it. You don't care about the little speed cameras and anything like that on it. Like it needs something else to it. I think if cops were on that game, it'd be quite interesting actually. Like, especially with the whole, like, you can actually go off road in this game and
Yeah,
stuff.
if you had the actual festival events, so
Festival
you had your
enforcement.
you had your normal festival events, and that was all legal and stuff. And then I'm not sure if you played Horizon 1, but then you had your street race events, and that is when the police would come in.
That would make sense. Like,
And
it's kind of, I don't know.
You would have your
It just, once
JDM
again,
police, and you would have your muscle car police, and you would have your like for every single kind of section, you would have different police cars, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, here's the thing. At the end of the day, Most Wanted did a great thing where it had cop probability. And yeah, I just thought that was awesome. So when there's low probability, yeah, you kind of
Yeah,
relax.
definitely. I remember that now. That
And
was
if they do
really
the same
good.
thing, that would work.
Because say if you
knew
wanted
what
to
car
go,
to take because of that as well. Like, if your car was almost impounded, like, nah.
well, say if you want to go straight into a pursuit afterwards, and you were going to do it anyway, and you just put it on high,
Yeah.
like go straight into a
Exactly,
race,
yeah.
heat level 44, you don't have to bother warming them up and getting them to chase you and get some reinforcements. You would literally straight in there after the race, get a few milestones done, and bish bash bosh, next next blacklist racer done.
And it felt really cool looking on the little device you get to check where you are, like bouncy wise.
Yeah.
Comparing yourself against made up characters, still thinking you are on top of the world.
That's something that's adding DLC. Like that's
Early
not
version of Autolog.
that's never something we're gonna get. Yeah, literally, that is literally autolog. Like, they're never gonna add something like that in any racing game ever again, ever. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. It'll be like a friends list version. It wouldn't be an actual version.
Yeah. Did you try the Burger King challenge?
Of course, I think everyone did.
I did everything on that game, yeah.
Oh, some of those challenges as you progress, those were really hard. Like spike strips constantly and everything. It's,
And the
I'm not
cars
sure
weren't that fast either.
yeah.
Have you tried the constant spike strip mod?
No.
There's a mod for Most Wanted 2005 where they just keep on, like, instead of roadblocks, it's just spike strips everywhere. And if you try play that, it is just so hard. So hard. But yeah, I mean, back to what we were talking about, we kind of digressed a bit.
Yeah.
Police in Underground, if done right, I don't think I would mind too much. However, if they do it how I think they're going to do it, I'll be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, if it's the cops versus racer thing, they really need to be careful, because if I'm on Rivals, for example, and I'm like trying my best to not get arrested, like get the police after me, they do anyway. But if one guy shunts into me, like a cop, that's me. Like, that's because he decided to hit me. He can take me down and take all my speed points or whatever. So
I do not want to see that.
that's
I do not
exactly.
want to
So
see you
they
being
need
able
to
to
make
play as a
sure
cop.
to balance it in some way.
Also,
if they do the cop and racer thing,
It shouldn't be like R33 cop cars. I don't want that. Give me a Crown Vic.
yeah,
please.
don't bring out Bugatti Veyron cop cars after me.
In Underground 3, no.
When I'm in the Porsche at the beginning of the bloody game.
No, if you're in a 240SX at the start of the game, I don't want to see fucking Huayras going past me in police cars. No, not an Underground. That's not where it's supposed to be. I want to see Crown Vics, and I want to see Corvettes, if anything. I don't want a Corvette,
Yeah.
but if you're going to put high-end police cars, put a Corvette in. No more, no less.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
But I don't want to. If I see one fucking Huayra or an R33 or an R34, police car. If I see JDM police cars, I'm gonna cry. I'm actually gonna cry.
I think they might have the R35. That kind of makes sense, but
That makes more sense. Yeah, that was in Undercover and that worked.
nothing too over the top. Like
Yeah.
I don't want.
Slammed out 370Zs as police car. Oh, if I see that drifting around at a corner at 150 miles per hour, laughing my ass off. No, that is not happening. I don't want that.
I think the best way for them to do it would probably have dedicated cop events or something. Like, then they can't just.
To be
attack you
honest,
in
from
free
my personal
modes.
view, like having special cop events and I don't want to be a cop. Like, I don't think many people want to be a police car person.
Surprisingly, a lot of people do like being a cop.
How many?
I do, but I just don't want it in Underground.
I don't like it because you literally it's playing Burnout, like Burnout mode activate, like even more Burnout mode activate.
Like in Hop Shoot, Hop Shoot, the 2010 version. Did you go straight to the racer side, complete that, then do?
I hated the cop side. I just
Yeah,
didn't want
exactly,
to do
same.
It. Well, I mean, there are people. I thought, like I said in a video ages ago, it's like, who wants to be a cop? But surprisingly, a lot of people do want to be a cop. I can see why, I guess, because there's a few reasons. I mean, number one, you don't get the cops after you. That could be one good reason, so you can actually do the jumps and stuff. But
And get unlimited nitrous as well.
To end in somewhat like when I did have to play a cop in Rivals, taking someone's score was like, yes.
I felt like a right dick.
Yes,
Like,
all
this
your
guy's been
work,
working here for an
man.
hour. He's got about 5 million
But
speed
it's
points.
it's that pink slip feeling,
Ugh.
isn't it? Like the feeling that I want, say that I got on Juiced, for example. Like when I get someone's car, I'm like, yes.
Have we already talked about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
Pink
yeah.
slip
but I mean-
races in the crew.
I want it.
Oh.
I want pink slip races.
Underground 3, pink slip races with the oh my god! If I
With, all of a sudden, cops appear. It's
if
like,
someone's
oh,
made
God.
that Underground 1 Integra and they've put their like 30 odd hours into
Yeah.
making that car and then you just steal it off them, oh, imagine that feeling!
Yeah.
Imagine that feeling.
And they're gonna do their best to get it back, and it's just it adds to the game. And I
No,
don't know.
oh, fuck that! You've had your chance, mate.
Imagine the messages.
Yeah, the messages are gonna be crazy.
If they did implement that, I don't want to come up against someone who's got like a stock 240SX who's just started the game. Please, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
2 years.
what?
Hopefully,
And
they'll pull
wages.
something good off. Hopefully.
Wages, that would be another thing that I could put in
Yes,
the crew and Underground.
wages.
Oh, imagine like wagering for like 1 million credits. Oh my god, that would make for such good video ideas.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, like that would be insane, and that would be a great way to actually separate the skill gap for
Definitely.
like kind of like a quote unquote MLG playlist. Like that would be literally where all the good players go. And with obviously the crew, they really want to get the kind of competitive side going with obviously Route 999, etc. I think that would be a really good idea. Like that's actually something they should do. If you're watching this, which I know you are on Theo's channel, please add that in at some point. Like, oh.
But I mean, like, think of racing games. What risk system has there been recently at all? Like that really penalizes you. Like, say you lose your car in Pink Slips and Juiced. In the Most Wanted, you can get your car impounded completely.
Lose your
and you
speed points is the
get
last one I
back.
can think of.
I mean, now there's you can lose your speed points that you're in that session. I mean, yeah, that's the
Nah.
worst we get. Like, we don't.
But to be
lose
honest, you shouldn't
cars,
even
we
be able
don't-
to. You shouldn't be able to get like 1 million credits in your first game. Like, listen, you could get that Cayman, get 1 million credits, come
Yeah.
into the garage,
and be slotted for pretty much the whole game.
yeah,
because you just keep adding on top of it.
exactly. And no, but you would still be in the tutorial level, and
Yeah.
you could have 1 million speed points. No, like the progression needs to come back.
Yeah.
You've talked about it so many times, Theo. Martin,
I
I'm,
have,
I'm sure you have as
I
well.
have. Yep.
So many videos on this topic.
But if I go into Underground 3 and I am in a 240SX, completely not tuned, I'll come into the garage with 1 million speed points after seeing a Pagani Huayra heat level 25 police car run past me. I'm going to get my controller, throw it across the room and send a hate message. Like,
They need
No.
to get this game right.
they do. This
If they
is
do
make
not
or
get
break.
this game right, because like one thing that the guy actually said in the article that I believe, like the rumor, he was saying that EA was considering closing the studio, which I could see because, I mean, the
Yeah.
last few games haven't been doing very well at all. Like Most Wanted did okay, but still not as good as it should have. So you know they're failing. Yeah, they're losing you money. You know,
But
I'm
wait,
surprised
wait.
they didn't give them a second chance.
By closing the studio, do you mean just Ghost or completely
Need for Speed.
cutting off Need for Speed?
Cutting off Need for Speed, Ghost
Are they
closed.
absolutely crazy?
They were considering doing that. Like
To be honest,
I'm
I
sure
can't
they would
blame
have
them.
because
I really can't blame them.
Rivals struggled to get to 2 million at one point. Like that's not good for a big, studio that's usually selling 16 million copies a game or something. Like
This is how I see it. Need for Speed, everyone knows Need for Speed. No one buys Need for Speed.
yeah, everyone knows it because it's got the name, but they've been ignoring what people have been asking for
Exactly.
years.
Even with
And-
a movie was behind Rivals and they couldn't get to 2 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, come on.
Absolute idiots.
Everyone you talk to, whether they play racing games or they don't play racing games, I go to people in my school, they're like, oh, they've seen my channel. Oh, I remember Underground 2, remember Most Wanted, all these types of things. No one ever talks about Rivals.
Nope.
No one. Except just one person who's trying to be cool. Oh, isn't Rivals the best game ever? No, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up and get out. No.
I mean, I don't think Slap Train or AR12 picked up Rivals either, and they got their Xbox Ones like day one. So it just says it's like,
That says a lot, yeah.
yeah. I mean, they pretty much make a lot of money from YouTube, and they could easily pick up those games if they wanted to make videos on them, and they didn't. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, true.
and
Like,
I picked it up mainly. Like, I probably wouldn't have picked it up, I would have at the time, but I would have. It would have been a less chance of me picking it up if Drive Club actually launched on the same day as Rivals. Like,
it's sad to see though.
That says a lot.
They cannot do that. They cannot do that.
It's so
if
sad
they
to
get rid
see.
of Need for Speed, what are we gonna have left
The Crew.
Well,
in terms of street racing? Well, the Crew is a new IP, and I don't know if they're gonna sequelize that, but
I'm sure they
No?
will. Like, there's so much. Like, there's so many people that I know who don't play racing games that are getting into game.
yeah.
So many.
EA are so cheap. Like they are the kind of staff managers, and then they've got a restaurant. They're supposed to tell their chefs what to cook, which is
Yeah.
a good Need for Speed game, and they're not doing that.
They're just like maximize profits.
They
Develop it
had-
in 6 months. I think the thing like that's probably a big hint as well. They said develop this in 6 months, so we only have to pay you pretty much half of what we normally would. So I don't know.
They had possibly the
insane.
biggest racing game franchise ever in the video game world.
And they thought, oh,
And
let's
they
do
just
what we want.
plummeted it into the ground. Like, there's no other way of
Yeah.
saying it. They got rid of Black Box for no fucking reason, and now look where we are.
Black
They gave
Box,
it
we miss
to
you.
Criterion. They gave it to Criterion. Like, look, the Burnout developers sold all right, less than Need for Speed at the time, but let's give it to them. Let's give it to like,
I actually can't wait to talk to the Black Box developers and tell. Like, I hope they genuinely tell me some of the stuff that EA did. Like, I'm not sure if they can or if they cannot, but if they tell me about this mystery city in Carbon and how, you know, the beta map was bigger than the actual map and how all these features was taken out of Most Wanted 2005 and how Underground 2 was supposed to have an extra city, and if they tell me all of these things that EA was planning to have, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say.
there's
I
just so
really
many
don't.
questions because we don't get any of it. And
I
it's
cannot
kinda
wait to
funny.
talk to these devs. I really can't. Like, there's so many questions surrounding these games. So many.
Anyway, just talk about the Crew now.
Can't we be talking about that for 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
let's go straight into it.
So
Okay.
you guys can talk about the beta, then I'll talk about the embargo.
Okay.
So beta, I've played this one. I don't know if Cam has. I think you don't.
Well, I played the last one. I was going to play some
Well,
more
yeah, you
today.
played the last one.
Yeah.
This build is, just to be clear, exactly the same, exact same build number, no update, you know, identical. And just to say, for the people saying, where's the PC beta, the reason they didn't do that is because they'd have to make a build dedicated for that, whereas they just used the last console ones, which are more updated. You know, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we're about a week away from the release now. But yeah, it's there. You can tell that it's able to sell at this point. Obviously, there's a few things that they mentioned, like if at the minute the online sessioning doesn't work after a mission, but that's probably to do with how they coded the beta.
Yeah, definitely.
And they said in the post that it's not in the full game, so thankfully. They're actually
Don't worry about
fixing
it.
this before it's released. How incredible is that?
A developer fixing things? No way.
Before it releases. But yeah, it's. I can't wait. I think I've played every single beta that we've been able to sign up for now. So that's 5 betas.
Yep, same, almost.
So, like, I'm at the point now where I've got to level 10 so many times. I've used the same cars so many times. I can't wait to.
I think, to be honest,
get the
Theo,
specs,
if we combined our level, we would probably be somewhere in the 300, 400s. Like,
Yeah.
that's no lie.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't wait to get into the full game. I've kind of been holding back from exploring it as I normally would and, you know, doing a lot of things I normally would because I know I'm going to lose the progress anyway.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait to sit down on the game, not literally, but sit down, play the game, you know, unlock everything, like all the cars, the SLS is in the game. There's a lot of cars that aren't available to me in the actual beta.
Ooh,
that
I
I've
have a
just-
question. Are you getting the
yeah.
season pass?
I probably am.
On day one?
Because I want the
The two
Ferrari
cars, yeah.
and stuff. But did we speak about the season pass before?
We did last week. We
Kind
didn't talk
of,
about
yeah.
the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were saying how you weren't amazingly impressed with it, but the way I
just because there's no tuners, like the
Okay,
game is
okay.
perfect, but it's lacking, very much lacking in tuners, very
Yeah.
much so.
an Ivory dev commented saying it's pretty much due to licensing. So
But it's happened before with like Underground 2, you know, even recent games like Horizon 2. Like, where are the
I
licenses?
don't know. It might be someone taking, paying a lot of money to a licensor and being like, "Hey,
Maybe,
want-
but then
you
even
want-
then, if
yeah.
you've got an MX-5, why can't you get an RX-7?
I don't know."
If you've got a 370, why can't you get a 240 or a Sylvia? It's happened so many times before. I don't believe it is just licensing. I think there's something else that's happening which we don't know about, but that's something for another video. I guess at least we've got three tuners. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a joke. Only 3 tuners in it.
Yeah, I'm picking up the season pass because, like, if you look at it as in, there's different specs for each of those cars.
It's worth it. I mean, it's only £20.
Yeah,
it is worth it.
I mean, it's not. How much is the Rivals DLC in total?
It's probably more than 40.
Yeah. And it was just like 2 cars, I think.
Basically. Yeah. You had to pay for so if you wanted that Lamborghini pack, you had to pay for the races version or the police version or the complete pack.
Or the complete pack, which was a $5.
Fucking joke.
Yeah, that was really, really. I got so annoyed at that.
I didn't buy anything, so I was fine.
One thing that annoys me is the way that they were going to release DLC from the start for this game, because they did it for every past game. But what they do is they're cheeky bastards, and they update the game to have a store after launch. And it's like, that just annoys me for some reason. Because they did it in Burnout. They updated the game, which is like, yeah, okay, that was the first proper game with DLC and stuff. And then Most Wanted, it's like, oh yeah, we're not going to have it. Boom, update, there's a store on there now. There's all this stuff to say, yeah, there's going to be lots of it. Buy it. I don't know, it just aggravates me.
The M3 GTR was supposed to be in the stock game of Most Wanted, wasn't it?
Exactly. In screenshots for the game, they showed the M3 in screenshots, and it's not in the actual game. Like,
They do that all the time with games. It pisses me off. And this all comes back to not paying full price for a game again. Like, yeah. Anyway, the Crew beta. Yeah,
it's ready to be released. I'm excited to get past level 10. That's pretty much it, really. Like, I'm going to be playing a damn lot, as you can imagine, because I've been waiting for so long for this. I started covering the Crew like before it was announced at E3, because I was reading like rumors and stuff, and I thought it was going to, like, originally people thought it was going to be a PS4 exclusive, which was a bit weird. But they were testing it on the Xbox 360 after, like, that was news that came out after, and that's when, like, the major stuff came out, like what the handling is like, and that's.
Theo, I'm on the same boat as you. I started covering the Crew before I had a racing channel, like on a second channel. Like, that should say something.
Yeah.
We've been waiting, like, as a community as a whole, we've been waiting for this game since, is it E3 2013 or 2012?
2013. Yeah.
2013. Okay, actually not as long
It
as
might
I
have
thought
been
it was going
2012,
to be.
actually. No, it's 2012, definitely 2012.
2012.
Because that's when Watch Dogs was announced as well.
Okay, it's 2 years. We've been waiting for this game for almost 2 years now. It's been in development for, I want to say 8, but I think that's wrong.
I think it's 6, 7, something like that.
Okay, 6, 7, 8, something like that. So, been waiting for this game for so long. It's been in development for so long. This is, personally, my spiritual successor to Most Wanted 2005.
One thing to say, Julian was saying how, I think it was Julian, he was saying how the people kind of tied this game to many, many other games, and it reminds them of so many others. Like, you'll actually get people saying how, obviously, it reminds them of Underground. For me, it reminds me of Most Wanted. For a lot of people, it reminds them of Burnout Paradise, for example. Like,
what?
People will link it in with games that they've played. Midnight Club is another one I can link to it easily. There's so much stuff in it that you can just link it to, like, every racing game, and it's, I don't know, it just has something for everyone.
There is definitely something for everyone besides tuners.
Besides tuners.
On a serious note, there is something for everyone. Again, I'm not gonna ramble on about my disappointment in the fact there's only 3 tuners in the game, but I will go as far and say that the car selection besides that, it is just tremendous. Like, there's exotics, there's muscles, there's vintage cars, which are vintage cars? Like, is that even a thing? Hatchbacks. Like, obviously, besides tunes, I mean, that is not in this conversation. There's everything else.
You have to pretty much, like, times the car list by 5, because there's all the specs for the cars, and it's like...
Yeah.
And
like, you can turn a hatchback into a race car.
And you're able to go to the salt flats to drag race, and you're able to go to these mountain locations to drift down them in your cars. And,
Like I can easily go to Theo. Oh, do you want to go to Las Vegas? Well, oh yeah, sure. Oh, I want to go back to LA to do this, and then you can easily get from place to place. And if you want to drive there, you can do that.
Snowy mountains. You've got the Grand Canyon. You've got the cities. You've got.
Apparently, I've heard there's dinosaurs in one part of the map. Like what? You don't get dinosaurs in any of the racing games.
They are crazy. Basically, they are crazy.
It's not like if this game was just one city, like Most Wanted 2005, it'd be good enough already. It's the scope of the game which kind of impresses me the most. I think the fact it's the whole of the US, and people say, "Oh, it hasn't got this city and it hasn't got that city."
Yeah.
The fact it takes me an hour and a half to get from one side of the map to another.
Do you think there's going to be an expansion? And it's like they've already got like the biggest racing map ever. So except Fuel, which was like just a big desert of copy and paste, which
feels really bland.
Yeah.
The thing is with the crew, it doesn't feel bland.
Very varied.
Yeah, like literally, it's not like the Fuel where everything's kind of just meh. I mean, like there's waterfalls, there's traffic everywhere, online players, there's beaches, there's coastal roads, there's
racetracks,
swamps, there's racetracks, there's everything. Like there's so
licensed racetracks, like
there's ghettos, literally everything, and that's what makes the crew for me what will be one of my favorite racing games of all time.
One of the biggest racing games as well. It is of the biggest games. And that's what impressed me, because it is a racing game. Like, I don't remember developers taking risks with racing games. They just kind of sit back and take it easy. I mean, Horizon 2 was like, oh yeah, go on then. And then you've got, obviously, Need for Speed recently. It's like, oh, go on, we'll make it for the kids. And, you just don't have people that literally come out to the stage and say, yeah, we missed a customization from Underground 2. Everyone instantly just loves these developers, and they actually speak back to you and follow you, and it's All
I'm saying, for competition-wise, I really hope next year, no matter, police, no police,
someone needs to do something to try and fight against this. Like,
if that Underground 2 drops,
and
when the beat drops, I see like an eclipse being customized. That E3, when I'm streaming that shit, when I'm covering that, oh my god, my blood pressure is just gonna rise and rise and rise if it's a remake of the original Underground trailer, when you're going through a tunnel and you're seeing that eclipse getting remade. Ooh, if it's a HD remake of that, and it's brand new and it's Underground 3, the crew's gonna have some real competition on its hands.
I just hope that that's the thing. I hope that they do, because competition.
Just for competition's sake. Yeah.
I'm fed up of racing games at the moment, just taking the easy route and just being like, oh yeah, we'll just do what we did last time, but a little bit prettier. The crew's actually trying something, and even if it might not succeed as well as games that sit back and be like, oh yeah, we'll just. I mean, Grid Autosport is a bloody prime example of that.
Grid.
Just throw this game out here. Here you go. So,
I remember you and Daz.
I was quite excited for it.
You guys were like, "Oh, this game's gonna be the savior for racing games." I played it and it was utter shit.
Did not say
I
that.
have not touched that since
I played
launch.
it. I did a Let's Play, like 2 episodes, and never played it again.
Literally, like I made maybe 2 or 3 videos. It actually got posted on the Grid YouTube channel, and I haven't touched it since. I have not touched it since.
I just hope that, as I said, people follow the crew's train, I guess, and just kind of go that way and take risks. Like the 2 games, actually, Project Cars will probably be another one. It was fan-funded, fan suggestions. Even though that game, Cam doesn't like it as much, you can tell that there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of thought gone into this game. Not as much as
you can
the
definitely
crew,
tell it was fan-funded.
yeah, but I mean, compared to other games, no other games really do that. And I guess you've got the couple of indie games on Steam and stuff, but I hope
that's our generation now, isn't it? That is the generation we're moving towards.
I hope that racing games are back again. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Like the racing game genre has been on the out for a while, and I think we can get there.
It used to be the big daddy of all of the games. Like at the moment, I think it's at the moment it's definitely shooters.
Yeah.
And maybe free roaming GTA like games, maybe. But yeah, racing games used to be the shooter of the day. Like that's what everyone used to want to play. When Underground was announced, when Most Wanted was announced, everyone got hyped. Now, not so much. It's more shooters, and I don't think racing games are ever going to get back to the status it was once at. But now I would love it to be back there. To be honest, like I would so love it to be back up there. You know, with all the shooters, with rivaling COD maybe in 20 or 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that so much.
So much as well, yeah.
Anyway, Theo, final beta thoughts.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's ready, and there's a few things that kind of confuse me a little bit, like the physics for the wheel are different to the controller. Like I go down this hill with a controller, and then I go again with the wheel. It's a little bit different, which I guess you can understand because it's a completely different way of controlling it. Yeah. But I mean, I haven't really run into any glitches, but there's some physics like problems that I've run into in where, say, I hit a wall and it kind of goes through it, or it flies up into the air or something like that. But they're not like major things, glitches. And I've not had any this beta actually. So it looks like they're fixed a bit, and hopefully they're fixed even more for the full game, and it's just like pretty much flawless release, which would be incredible, to be fair, because of the size of this bloody map. The amount of glitches you're going to run into, like,
I honestly was having doubts that the servers won't work on day one,
and they've been holding up all beta. No login queues, no problems at all. So
they've been signing in, they're signing out,
and it's an open beta that's available on the bloody PlayStation and Xbox Live Marketplace.
It's big. It's big.
Yeah.
Personally, I think The Crew might be the first game that's actually not broken on release.
Very funny.
That should be an actual award. Like,
that's an actual
video
thing.
Game Awards.
Like the only other game I can think of is
the only game that
COD.
isn't broken at launch. And Destiny.
Funny,
Destiny was okay, I guess.
Yeah, and Destiny.
Funny. It's really funny.
But I'm ready. I think The Crew, honestly,
it's been a long journey. But
besides the lack of tuners, been waiting for this game for God knows how long. Give it to me. I'm ready. It's only a week away. Oh God,
I can't
damn.
Yeah, it's less than a week away.
Sorry guys, I've just been really silent here, bottling up to talk about the embargo.
Okay. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it first, the embargo thing.
Oh, guys, I think I'm going to rant, so I guess when I say I'm done...
Should we explain what it is, just for people who don't know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to.
Okay.
Alright. Ubisoft, who the fuck do you think you are? No, it's not even funny. Like, okay, an embargo is basically, well, by definition, it's a ban. But in terms of the gaming and reviewing industry, it's like it's like a time lock. Like when your mum says, you are not allowed to touch this cake until 5 o'clock. Yeah, so you're not allowed to do a review until the publisher says you can. Okay, so with The Crew, you're not allowed to do a review of the game until the actual day of release. Is that right for you?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. No, they did the same thing.
The servers come up
a week before.
11. No, it's day before. It's Monday at 11:30 in UK time, and you can as soon as the servers go live, you can release your thoughts and stuff. There's no embargo, but they say that if you see a review day one, don't expect it to be representative of the final game because players and stuff on the game.
Okay, so they did the same thing with Assassin's Creed Unity. Now, I'm not interested in Assassin's Creed, don't play it, but there was an outcry with that game when it released. This game is apparently broken, and it also had the same day embargo. What happened to Assassin's Creed Unity? Now, I can empathize with you guys who play Assassin's Creed, but it's like, what Ubisoft is telling me is that they're not confident in their game.
Yeah,
they probably have some insecurities and some issues with an area in the game, and that's why, to put the embargo all the way to the release day, people buy it, have buyer's remorse, and probably won't, feel like they've basically get more sales because they've avoided a bad review.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, yeah.
But, sorry, one last thing. I always compare the gaming industry to movie industry, and for example, Nightcrawler, the movie. I don't know if you guys have seen the advert, but I wasn't interested in that movie at all. The one with Jake Gyllenhaal, recent one. This film's getting 4 out of 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars. You see them on the adverts on the buses. If the movie industry did the kind of embargo thing where you're only allowed to review on the day of release, no, that the movie industry would die. So I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
The way I see it is because this game is so a big part of it is the connected experience. You can't play this game offline.
I completely agree with you. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, it's it's that like their vision is the online thing. They tried to do it with Test Drive, but obviously they didn't make it always online. Tried it with Test Drive 2. It wasn't really them, but you know, they took the same idea. They want this experience where, for example, when I first got onto the first beta, I think it was, I thought, right, I am able to free roam now. I'm just going to drive to this dealership over here and see what's there. And I'm driving down the road of New York, and I see people driving next to me, like racing me towards it, and we get there and we're all like beeping our horns at each other. I went to a racetrack to go drift around it, and people appear there and they're trying to drift around it as well. It's like, and obviously you got the PvP, which is a big part of it. So I can kind of understand why there's not really an embargo. It's in the way that when the game releases, then you can start to give your thoughts and such. But I wouldn't review the game as soon as it comes out because people aren't on it.
It's because they want to review they want to review the crew offline.
Yeah, basically that's what they're trying to stop. So in a way, I think they're taking a risk here because if Ubisoft are doing this, like they know they do it with Assassin's Creed and people were complaining, so you know, if for them to do it again for the same reason to like hide it, it would be a bit. Yeah, it would be a bit. I understand it like obviously affects sales for them to not do it, and it also affects them to like put the reviews out. But I think personally that if they're doing this route that they're doing now, whereas they're not releasing reviews before, because it creates hype and you know it's affecting sales more so if they're doing it this way. But as I say, I can understand why, because for example, I haven't done my Drive Club review yet, and the reason for that is because the servers aren't stabilized. I don't think it's fair to review a game when the social aspect is such a big part of it and that aspect is not there. So I don't know. I understand. I understand where you're coming from though, because when the product is released, that should be the product that is reviewed. But at the same time, it's not the actual finished thing, and I will be playing the finished thing eventually. And
for me personally, I think it's a good idea, just because in the short term, you know, it's going to affect sales, but in the long term, it's going to give a better review score because obviously they're going to be reviewing those online, you know, mechanics and whatnot. And it's going to give a better review score. It will.
Yeah,
that's going to help sales in the long term. I think.
Okay. One question. Don't you think it's going to be like a kind of server crash with everyone trying to do it at the same time?
There may be. At the beginning, there may be.
There might be on day one, yeah. But I very highly doubt it, to be honest.
GTA did. I mean, Halo's having how many? Yeah, a lot of games are having issues with online, but they've actually took the time to test this.
With the open beta. That's the reason why I don't think it will crash on day one. It's purely because of this beta.
Other games, they didn't do a test. Drive Club did a closed beta that was single player only, which is a stupid idea.
Because look how that turned out.
Yeah. And I mean, if they gave reviewers the game a week before it came out, so they say they've had it now, and the servers were up, they wouldn't be experiencing it with other players. They'll be experiencing it with other reviewers that just like, oh yeah, we're playing this game just to review it. We're not playing it because we like it.
Yeah.
So whereas if you play with other people that are playing the game, you know, for the fun of it, then it's kind of, I don't know, it just adds another layer to it in a way. So if you go to the salt flats, someone may pull up next to you and you're like, oh, I want to drag race this person.
The reason they're not actually going to play the full game, so to speak, before release, the only reason for that is because this is an online social game.
Yeah.
You can't review an online social game before release. You need players to do that.
I understand. I'm just feeling a bit worried about.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They could be hiding something.
They could be hiding something, but if you think about it, they've had beta tests where you're able to play the game. It runs fine. You know, there can't be anything majorly wrong with the game. We know there's microtransactions.
Do you guys know if...
Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, do you know if Unity had any kind of betas or anything?
Nope. Not as I'm aware. Like,
didn't.
I think they had a closed beta for Watch Dogs, but that's the last beta from Ubisoft I've really heard of. Obviously, the crew. But yeah, they say, like, Sony came out and said how they couldn't really test Drive Club properly. Now, that I think is a load of bollocks. You could have tested the game. You had a beta build. All you had to do is let people go online on the servers to see if it would crash. Make an open beta for a day. It works as a demo as well to see if people like the game. Do you know? It's just,
and that would have given good more advertising as well.
Exactly.
From people like me and you. I don't know.
it just doesn't make sense to me because surely they could have done some internal testing as well through a network. Like, like it doesn't make sense. All they have to do is emulate the amount of data coming in and out of it.
Anyway,
All right, guys. I've calmed down. I've calmed down.
Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from, though. It is a bit annoying that, you know, I'd say Destiny was an example of where they said that when they really didn't need to, because they could have reviewed that game on their own, like playing with the people in the office. Yeah, that doesn't. You go to the hub, I guess people wave at you. It's like, oh yeah, cool. People are actually interacting with me, but it's not.
Well, there's not swearing down the mic.
Yeah, you pull up to the salt flats, someone else is there, you have a big drag race, you know, you meet friends, and, you know, in Destiny, you only run into people in the hub, and that's about it, so, I don't know.
Should we round it up then?
Yeah, I guess we could.
Okay, there's actually some questions that Theo asked on his Twitter.
Yeah.
I've got them up on my phone right now.
Okay.
So the first one, do you piss in the shower?
Oh, no.
I said I was going to ask you.
Oh, no.
Martin, you're first.
My first. You ask the question, you answer it.
Yeah, you got to answer it.
I have.
Okay.
Martin.
Okay, you know what? Yep, I do. Yeah, you can call me a nasty fart, but at the end of the day, there's running water there, and I clean it weekly, so yeah, whatever.
I have, yes, I have.
Okay, and that was from Edwin. Shout
Okay,
out.
yeah, had him, my friend, yeah.
And the next one, what does water taste like?
The ground? I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. It's one of those questions.
Tastes like purity.
You know
Yeah.
That's my answer.
It's basically the base of everything that we eat and drink.
It's the base of life from Theo. Quote, Theo 2014. It's the base of life.
I'm going deep.
That's what she said. Martin, what does water taste of?
Don't know, but I do like the taste of it.
Okay then, and that is episode 6 of Up to Speed.
Actually,
that it?
got some questions actually.
Oh, you got more?
Yeah, our XSplit are
Ooh.
on the comments section.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've Martin, did you play GTA 5?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so favorite radio station GTA 5?
Oh gosh.
Radio Los Santos for me.
I hate the soundtrack in that game.
You do?
I do not. But yeah, completely hate them.
Which station would you bear to listen to?
They're so like
The
they're not even
Mexican one?
memorable.
The Mexican
Yeah,
one's
I
just
think I see that. The one that comes up with what's that song about?
Every time you get in a
I mean,
taxi.
Yeah.
That's fun, but there's the other one. Oh man, I
Fresco?
forgot what it's called. Something. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Fresco.
Fresco, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
like that, I like
weird.
that station.
All this music on that station is so weird and fun. I don't know. What about you, Cam?
Oh, and
Oh, okay.
I said Radio Los Santos, definitely.
Okay, yeah. What did you say, Martin?
sorry, just to squeeze in. There's another station that has the songs about Hat Command Forgotten Notes. It's got that other kind
I
of.
love that, yeah.
What's that? It's kind of like Bro Step. That Bro Step song.
Yeah.
Forgot the artist's name. But yeah, I like that station as well.
Yeah. Worldwide
I
FM.
hope you guys know what I'm
I
talking
think it
about.
is.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I like the music. I like the variety because not a lot of games have variety in music. I mean, Horizon 2 was just wub wub and stuff. It really was. They had one trap song and it got boring after about a couple of days. But yeah,
I like the Horizon 2 soundtrack. I was a fan.
Okay, like if you like
I guess I like the
music,
wub wub.
Yeah.
There's no other way of saying it.
But for me, I kind of like different types of music. When I went into GTA, I was thinking I'm going to listen to West Coast classics because I like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all that stuff. So I actually didn't. I actually started listening to Radio Los Santos and Flylo FM. I actually listened to that as well. So I don't know. I kind of listen to all of them. There's a couple of songs on each station that I'll listen to. Like I'll end up flicking through it to see if which one's on, like which radio station. But it doesn't have the same feel. Whereas if I listen to a song and it'll instantly remind me of San Andreas. Whereas on this, I don't think I'm going to do that. It's just none of the music you don't really tie to it except that one Mexican song that's like on down the drain.
Yeah.
It's like but yeah, I'd say my favorite radio station would probably be Flylow FM because I actually quite liked that weirdly enough, and it kind of introduced me to trap music and stuff, which isn't trap.
Does the Place play on that station? Place by Ink.
Not sure.
All right.
Okay, value this season pass. We kind of already went through this, but I'd say it's good because of the fact that...
Yep, definitely worth it. 10 out of 10, no hate.
Yeah, you get the different specs for the car and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, I don't think I'll be able to answer very well because I'm not a film person, but favourite car film, action film, and car chase. So...
Sorry, can't answer that.
Sorry?
Can't answer that, sorry.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't know.
Watched a few car films, but haven't watched many. I mean, Fast and Furious, obviously. I've watched all them. No, I can't really answer that, to be honest.
Chases though, I don't really remember any chases in Fast and Furious.
No. Too Fast and Furious, the cop scene for me, where they went to the garage shutter thing, and all the cars came out. It was kind of a chase, I guess.
Honestly, it's not a movie. It's like a Japanese anime called Initial D. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, you've been talking about that quite a bit. So
there's one scene. Basically, I'll give you the backstory so it makes sense. The main character, he's in love with this girl, and this girl got raped by someone else, and basically she's been taken away in someone else's car, and then the main good guy follows him in a chase to try and get the girl back, because obviously she was about to be raped on ice, which is and I think that was a pretty good scene. But again, that's not a movie, so I guess that doesn't count.
Yeah, I guess it kind of could.
Okay, I think I know what I could say.
Yeah.
I don't remember the film, but it's this Jackie Chan film, and he's kind of like, I think he's in a Mitsubishi Lancer. It's a white one, and he kind of escapes the police and slides into a parking spot, and the police just drive right by. I don't know if you guys know that film. I hope someone in the
rings
comments.
A bell. Rings a bell.
You must have seen that scene somewhere.
It rings a bell. It is.
Yeah, but that's I guess that's what I could say.
Yeah, mine's easy. Car film would be Too Fast and Furious. That was like the first film that really got me into cars, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. Favorite car films, definitely the first Fast and Furious for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I usually watch comedy. That's my music.
I don't watch movies anymore.
That's my movie type.
Like I just watch YouTube and Netflix.
Yeah, I don't watch many movies, but if I do, it's usually comedy.
I do watch Fast and Furious every now and then, but I'm not really a big movie guy. I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, I am watching Hunger Games on Friday. So saying that, I am going to watch a movie on Friday, but yeah, I'm not really a big movie guy.
Okay. Most
it's just like
a game. Okay.
Should I go? It was just because it's like if you watch a bad movie, that's 2.5 hours wasted. However, if you watch a bad YouTube video, it's only usually 5 or like 6 minutes. That's why I don't watch movies, but sorry, you carry on.
Yeah.
That's exactly me.
Yeah.
Yeah, most anticipated game, he said of 2015 and 2016. Now, to be honest, I don't know 2016. Martin can talk.
Yo, is that a Batman? A Batman.
Batman, Arkham Knight. No other game comes close in terms of hype right now. I think Uncharted 4 could kind of come behind that, but we haven't seen enough on that for me to get hyped. But Batman Arkham Knight, true next-gen game. They've gotten rid of pre-rendered cutscenes. Combat is enhanced. They've got the Batmobile. It's the final episode in the trilogy. Rocksteady's the developer. Warner Brothers, Batman, everything. I'm just hyped. Batman,
he's breaking up. He's so hyped. Theo, what's your favourite?
There isn't a lot I could really say. Because I can't really think of many, to be honest. But I'd say Need for Speed's up there, not of like hype because we know nothing of it, but it's like I'm interested as to what it is. Yeah, like wondering what they've got in store, if they're actually gonna, go big with this or just go easy and have a bit of what we want, But I would say maybe the Division's up there for me of kind of confirmed games. But it's an Ubisoft game, so I'm worried that there's like going to be a little bit of a change. It's been delayed and pushed back, but yeah, I'm excited for that because it's like a next gen, DayZ style thing.
The one is pretty obvious for me definitely, without a doubt, Need for Speed 2015. And the reason for this, like, if you asked me a week ago, I would have said something different. But the reason for this is while I was reading that leak, there was always just like there was like a little kind of spark in my brain thinking, if this is real, I am so hyped. Like, there was a little part of me that thought this was real when I was reading through it, and I don't know, just something it clicked in my head, and I just got hyped like a little boy again. And like, so I don't know what happened, something clicked. And when I was reading through, they were saying, oh, they're going to have spinners, they're going to have this, that. If Need for Speed 2015 is really the next Underground 3 sequel, I have no words. I am literally just so hyped for that game. At the moment, again, I'm not really that hyped, but I'm definitely extremely excited for that game. I really can't wait to see what Ghost do, and I really do have faith that Ghost will make a good game in longer than 6 months. So, yeah, Need for Speed 2015, definitely.
Can I throw this last question?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so on episode 6, Tyrese Maloom asks, out of 10, how much do you like the Lamborghini Aventador, and do you know anything about NFS so far? I think he means 2015. But out of 10, I rate the Lamborghini Aventador 9.7. The reason why it doesn't get a complete 10 is because that V12, I just think it could sound a little bit better. But the Aventador is so sexy, man. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's orange in my theme of my channel. And that's where, that's the Lamborghini Aventador obviously was presented in orange, and that's why
I give it a 6.
my channel is orange.
I give it a 6.
Okay. I give it a 7.8. There's too much water. No, but
it tastes too much like the earth. It goes too deep.
No, I always use that car as kind of a way to explain like old cars, like supercars. I don't quite like them. Yeah, because they don't have enough pointy bits on them, and the Aventador's just got like
Too
it's
many.
got it hasn't got too many. It's got more than enough in a good way. Like. I really like the design of the car. It's probably one of my favorite like cars to look at, pretty much, because it's just got.
I mean, if you compare them to Ferraris, a Ferrari could never.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
a Ferrari could never dream of being as sharp as a Lamborghini.
I prefer Huracan, but yeah,
I like Ferraris, but I mean, I just like the more pointy bits on cars.
I'm a Lamborghini guy all the way.
I like the F12. Yeah. That kind of the 458 got me into Ferraris, but then the F12 just kept me.
Is that it then, guys?
Yeah, we've already kind of answered the other half of the question. It was about Need for Speed, so we spoke about that for about half an hour. So I think that's about enough, or 40 minutes.
Okay then. So if you watched this far, make sure to leave a comment saying Theo. What should we tell him to leave a comment about? Leave a comment.
NFS 2015.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say something with Theo's quote earlier on.
Leave their thoughts on it, because we can kind of discuss those in the next one as well.
Okay, so if you got this far, leave your thoughts about Need for Speed 2015. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe to all our channels in the description below, and we shall see you in the next episode of Up to Speed.
See you in the next one.
Peace.
All right.